is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show. This.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you can get some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hey, yo. Your mic's not on.
Now you can hear me. Now you can hear me. Okay, my bad. It does help to open up the mic. Anyway, good morning, one and all. It is Friday. We are here. We are ready to go. We are ready to rock. Got a new lid? Gotta, it's one of those things, you gotta, when you see a new cool lid, you gotta add it to the collection. And it was just one of those deals. So I kind of fell in love with it. And I said, it's got the greatest logo ever created on Mother Earth, So I said, I figured I would have to grab it. And we did, which is a beautiful thing. Anyway, hope you all are doing well. We got a loaded Friday for you, an exciting Friday, because we got a huge game. I mean, this stretch coming up now over the next 3 weeks, it's a lot of fun. It's, I kind of put it in the title. This is the biggest game in 35 years for the Miami Dolphins. And not because this would be the biggest game you've won in 30. Like I told you 2 years ago, watching Tua come off the bench against Baltimore with Brian suck-ass Flores and his crappy-ass coaching staff, for Tua to win that game was much more impressive than, the next 3 games. Well, maybe not the Buffalo game. But my point is that this is more about the macro. You know how when we talk about investments, we always talk macro, we don't talk micro, because micro really doesn't give you the real picture, especially for those of us that are long-term investors. We're not rich, that kind of stuff. So the macro picture of all of this is that these are the biggest 3 weeks of the Dolphins franchise history in the last 35 years, because over 35 years, they were building to nothing. Okay, the Jay Ajayi year didn't mean shit. You weren't going to do anything anyway in the playoff. The 11-5 and the Wildcat didn't mean shit. It was a novelty. You were a nothing team that was just sneaking into the playoffs. The Jimmy Johnson era, you were building absolutely nothing. The Dave Wannstedt era, you weren't building shit. It was just the team was what it was, and it wasn't going anywhere big because it didn't have the proper leadership and the proper talent it needed all the way around and balance and everything else. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. The last time we had something like this was in the early 90s, but you had to deal with the Bills. And the Bills were just better, period. End of story. There's no discussion there. That was one of the greatest football teams of all time, even though they didn't win a championship. So this is why it means something, because these games will catapult you into the playoffs, will give you positioning that you've never had in so many decades, because now you're talking about fighting for a number 1 seed. This is the biggest moment of the Dolphin organization in the last 35 years. Because this is the last time in the early 90s was when you actually were building something that you had legitimate. And, of course, you had Shula, and you had Marino, and you had Webb, and you had Sims, and Clayton, and Duper, and Marco Coleman, and Troy Vincent, and, Tim Bowens, and all. You know what I'm talking about, okay? So, those of you that are old enough and you lived that era, you know what I'm talking about. And we have finally come full circle. Okay? Not that this Cowboy win would be the greatest win in 35 years. No, not at all. But what these next 3 weeks mean, Miami has not been able to play with that kind of season on the line, with that kind of defining moments on the line, which is what's happening to the Miami Dolphins over the next 3 weeks. These are defining moments in your organization. Have you turned the corner? Do you now want to become an elite organization from here on out? Or do you just want to be that organization that just hangs around and is barely 500, and once in a blue moon you sneak into the playoffs? You know what I'm talking about, right? Young Dolphin fan? That's all you've ever been, right? Young Dolphin fan? Well, young Dolphin fan deserves a hell of a lot more. Young Dolphin fan deserves a lot of winning over the next 3 weeks. Young Dolphin fan deserves the number 1 seed, because old Dolphin fan like yours truly has experienced that. And I'm seeing that this is it right here. This is the first time that I feel in decades that this team actually has something incredibly tangible to acquire over the next 3 weeks. It's more than just a culture change. It's about becoming a winning organization. And the only way you do it is to be successful over the next 3 weeks. And it has to start on Sunday at 4:25. Got to get it done with the Dallas Cowboys. All right? I'm as excited as it gets, dude. Good moment for the team. Let's do a little roll call, don't we, here? Joseph, GMO, fun Friday, my brother. Yes, sir. Hank Johnson is in. Let's go. Brooklyn Rob. The last 3 games has me on edge of my seat. It would have just finished off Tennessee. We would be in a better position. Yes. But hey, we don't like to do things easy anyway. So let's run the table now. Oh, man. Kyle Cockrell's in. Steve Chapman is in. All he wants for Christmas is a Dolphins win on Sunday. Jack Roldan in. Suds in. Ragin in. Jonathan Jensen. Suarez to enter. Yeah, that's pretty much a done deal. Revo 13. Suds, One-Eyed Jack says, good morning, Big O and Sean. Game day, can't get here fast enough. Amen. We got some football on Saturday, too, at least. That's cool. Mario Gonzalez in. Thanks for the hard work. Thank you. Thank you all for supporting Sean and myself. My coworker from Dallas is going to be at the game. Please give me a win so I can just see him pout all week. Chad in. Mario Gonzalez is we got you down here in Cali, Big O. Thank you, Mario. Appreciate you, my brother. Ray Sosa, Chad. Kyle Cockrell likes the hat. So does Mario. So does Ray. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And this is one of those that can't leave the house because it's too clean. Unless maybe like a walk-ons or something I could wear it at. Although I can't wear a Dolphin hat anymore on game day. I won with the Bitcoin hat last week because we had to retire the Chambers jersey. The Chambers jersey has been retired. Can't be worn anymore. It lost. I wore the Bitcoin hat, and it started. I know it's only the Jets, but they lost to Tennessee, so I gotta wear the Bitcoin hat again on Sunday against the Cowboys. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I should have worn the Bitcoin hat from the get-go because Bitcoin is the ultimate winner. It's the one that I've fought through for a couple of years. It's the one that's fought back from 16,000 all the way up to 44,000 now, and pretty soon it'll be hitting 50. Pretty soon it'll be getting to 100 when these ETFs are approved and they start funding those things. The next 6 weeks to 2 months right after, I'm expecting a boom, a serious boom. I think over 100K. I should have been wearing the Bitcoin hat from week 1. We might be undefeated right now. So, Bitcoin hat, we're riding that bitch all the way to the title. Okay. Morning peeps from Gus 1388. Jay Hurd says good morning. Pound the rock, give Kerry Jones a huge lump of coal and a shit burger on the side. Fins up, baby. Raul Yorka says, Big O, did you end up ripping the Tesla shirt off with the fact that you will wear it after the fact that you will wear it again? I don't understand that. I ripped Tesla, the automaker, not the band. I was wearing a shirt from the band. That never fails me, by the way. I love Tesla, by the way. If anybody, just so you'll know, I'm a big Tesla fan. Anyway, Rosendo is in. On the fourth Sunday of Advent, may the Lord give us the grace and strength we need every day and lead all people closer to you. Come and dispel the darkness. Thank you, Rosendo. Raging Dolphin Maniac. I'm scared we're losing this game. Oh, please relax. They're going to win this game. They're going to win this game, dude. I think this team wants to be great. Okay? So I was having a conversation with somebody of No, I'm just not going to say what. But anyway, I was having a conversation with somebody that somewhere in that stratosphere, and I was telling him this team. I just have a feeling that this team wants to be great. I really do, and I think it's the addition of the Armsteads and the Jalen Ramseys of the world. I think you have brought some people in here that have brought another level of confidence, to this team. And I just think that you got guys that, Chubb, you got guys that just, they're hungry. They want to be great, and I think that and you got some leaders. It's one thing we've talked about here for several weeks now, the leadership that's all over this roster when it comes to wanting to play the game of football and selling out and all that. I think we have a completely different type of team. I really do, man. It's just, I think Rob Hunt is cut from a different cloth. I just do. You know what I mean? It's sad that he got injured, but Connor Williams, another one of those kind of guys. I think I love Liam Eichenberg's toughness too, considering everything that guy's been through. I love it. The resiliency of Raheem Mostert. I mean, that's a guy that hasn't gotten his fair share or shake, and then at times has had injuries and all that, and he's fought through everything, man. And he's played better than any of us ever expected. Brings the hammer like we never expected. And then you got guys like Andrew Van Ginkel, that they are just werewolves and they're hungry. Brandon Jones is a hungry son of a bitch. Kader Kohou's a hungry son of a bitch. I'm not sure if you guys see it, some of you, and I understand that a lot of you get beaten down by everything that's happened in the past, and I try to weed through that. If I see that it's still there, I'll tell you. But that bullshit's been going away, and I'm trying to explain to you that, I told you a few years ago that the front office would prove to be one of the best in the business. Is this not the case already at this point? You know what I mean? Those of you that didn't believe in Tua, maybe now you're starting to believe in Tua, that he's definitely the guy. This is the team, man. I suggest you guys, you can be pissed and you can be frustrated when there are down moments, but I don't think you should have a defeatist attitude for this Miami Dolphins team. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. I don't. I really like this team. I haven't seen anything that resembles this in decades. And I still think this is better than even the early 90s teams, but they have to go out and prove it. But that's about my closest measuring stick right now is early 90s right now. And they can surpass it. We'll find out in the next 3 weeks. We're going to find out. It's going to be fun. No doubt about it. Anthony Campos is in. Biggest game in a long time, like you said. Next 3 weeks. Yes, sir. Alexis El Jivaro says the only thing I'll say about Cowgirls is their weakness is our strength. No more words needed. Yep. And what he's talking about is defensively against the rush, the Cowboys allow 117.4 yards per game. Offensively, when it comes to rushing, Miami is number 4 in the NFL at 139.6. Miami is number 4 stopping the run at 90.4 yards per game, and the Cowboys are number 12 at 116. So Miami will be able to stop their run. Can Dallas stop theirs is the question. And if Miami can get the run going, which I think is imperative in this game, it can be a nice long day for the Cowboys, which is what I like. I'm 34 and I've never seen the Dolphins do anything. That's what Chris Wilson saying. You will now. You will now. Okay, Chris? You will. You're going to get what you deserve, dude. Like a lot of you young fans out there, like I've been telling you, you're going to get what you deserve. Suds, Angel Padilla, Ray Grullon. Thank you for the love. Weapon X United, Isaiah, Drago. Eric says, what a year we have witnessed so far. I am confident this is not the same old Dolphins. Everyone enjoy the weekend, the family, and enjoy the ride for the next few weeks. Josh says, what up, Owen? Sean, I'm in corporate time stealing weasel. I like it. Thank you, Isaiah. I thought it was fresh, too. That's why I had to purchase it. I just felt like, this is a must. I saw it and I said, this is a sweet-ass hat. So I had to get it. Angel says, only thing messing up this team is themselves. The talent, coaching, culture is there. That's right. True Fin Fan reminds us he farted in the elevator today. There are 5 people inside. I feel accomplished today. Boy, crop dusting, huh? Crop dusting in the morning. That is strong, True Fin Fan. Ernesto Zayas Bazan. Thank you for another great show. We just started, but thank you. I used to shop at Zayas in Hialeah. They used to have pretty good clothes for men, Zayas. They got on a roll for a little while back in the late 70s to 80s. I want to say it was Zaya's peak. Jason says, I'm a Dolphin fan living in New Mexico. Cowboy fans everywhere over here. Please, Miami, get this win. We need it badly. They'll get it for you, buddy. Let's see. Kyle says, but also Dallas gave up 100-plus defensive rushing yards the next game. They held their opponent way under 100, so they do bounce back well. Yeah, it depends on who they play. They ain't playing the Dolphins. They ain't going to bounce back well here. Lord Warden is in. Big O, I hear you, agree. The only thing that's still concerning is Ross getting in the middle. Nah, I don't think so anymore. I think Ross understands this. Ross better you know what? Ross better never get in the way again. Put it that way. Okay? Because if he does it again and screws the team, I'm pretty sure the fan base will revolt and will demand that he sells the team and gets the hell out. I know I will be doing it every day. I will be as relentless as I've ever been on anything on Stephen Ross if he ever screws up again. I will be there thoroughly to embarrass him on a consistent basis. Okay? Any chance I get, I will continue to bury him. He better have learned his lesson from the last go around. Okay? When it comes to football, Stephen Ross is catastrophically stupid. Okay? That there's no other way of looking at it. Stephen Ross doesn't know much about football. He sits there, do your real estate, count your money, write the checks, waddle when you get a chance, and shut the hell up and stay in the background. But I'm pretty sure by now, Stephen Ross has to know that every time he's opened his mouth, he's been a complete screw-up. From Harbaugh to Joe Philbin as the next Don Shula to, going out and getting the, trying to get Peyton and all that and every stupid thing, Brady, all that crap. He's got to know by now that everything he's done, it's been a thorough embarrassment. He's the one that fell in love with Ndamukong Suh in the middle of a Detroit Red Wings game, okay, where Ndamukong Suh won him over. And who knows, maybe that was part of this meeting where Ndamukong Suh walked in and he thought he, can run circles around the Dolphins again. And Chris Greer looked at him and said, hey, no, that's nice, man. It's good to see you again. Have a great life. So I would hope by now that Stephen Ross knows to just root for the team, write the checks, and get the hell out of the way. Because he is not a positive for football. He can be a positive for the Dolphins as long as he listens to Tom Garfinkel, listens to Chris Greer, okay, Reggie McKenzie, and Marvin Allen. Okay, listen to the football people and do whatever the hell they tell you to do. And then sit back, enjoy your lovely family, do your waddle, write the checks, and just get the hell out of the way. Those are the best owners. Those are the absolute best owners. Write the checks and get out of the way. That's the only skill set that Stephen Ross needs. We don't need to see anything else from Stephen Ross. He does that, and he becomes revered. He does anything else, and he will be hated thoroughly. So it's up to him. Pretty simple. You want to hang around South Florida? Shut the hell up. So, because any moment you stick your face out in public, they're going to say, Stephen Ross, sell the team, you clown. You're constantly in the middle of the way. What are you, Jerry Jones Jr.? And you don't want that. So I would imagine by now, Stephen Ross has learned his lesson that he has no business at all in football operations. That's all I got to say. KSDT CPAs, we love KSDT CPAs. They know how to get it done. They've been doing it for many, many years. They're expanding every single day. Man, since we've been with them, they've added offices in Palm Beach and in Weston and now in North Carolina. So they've got offices in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. They're hiring in all three, and they're also hiring in their newest office in Charlotte, North Carolina. Use that QR code, folks. If you need tax, advisory, assurance, accounting, they know how to get it all done. For your business taxes, you know how it is. You need that guidance throughout the year. Might not just be by tax time, but you might want to know about payroll. You want to know about what's going on in the economy, how you're going to handle your inventory. Are you thinking of selling? How much is your business worth? KSDT CPAs can help you out in so many ways. And then personally, for your taxes and wills and all that kind of stuff, please reach out to them. Look out, use that QR code, or you can call them 305-670-3370. That's 305-670-3370. Use that QR code wherever you're at, man. It doesn't really matter. You can be anywhere in the country. You can do this all, by phone and online and everything. You don't really have to go into offices pretty much anymore. Use that QR code and tell them that Big O sent you. KSDT CPAs, man. Great people. They know how to get it done. Let's see. What do we have here? Miami Dolphins for life. We're going to win on Sunday, says Jesse. Yes, sir. Big O preaching right now about Ross 100%. Ragin says, I'm sure Ross has learned to trust Greer based on how much he has improved the last 2 years. Well, I mean, I think if they would have left Chris Greer alone, and you would have had less speed bumps too, but politics, dude. What are you going to do? It's the kind of crap that, anybody like Reggie McKenzie or Marvin Allen or Chris Greer are going to have to deal with. I mean, the only reason we have Reggie McKenzie here is because the Raiders are a bunch of idiots. That's all. And thank the Lord that the Raiders are morons and we added one hell of a personnel guy. And then another team wants to let go of Marvin Allen. You go ahead and be stupid. Give him to us. I'm good with that. Canes Dolphins 89 says, good morning, Big O and everyone. Thank you. I haven't popped in 2 days. Gonna get some croquetas and café con leche. Big O, I told you, you know your stuff and your parents will raised you well. Thank you, sir. Very nice of you. Sometimes I also think the street and life raised me. I was just talking with George yesterday about that, because it's great to be book smart, right? And it's great to get a degree and prepare for your foundation, obviously. But you could graduate from school, but that doesn't mean that you graduated from life yet, because The one thing that school does not teach you is any instincts whatsoever. Life will teach you those instincts because you'll have your ups and downs, and usually that's the best teacher. Your parents can give you some guidance and good guidance sometimes. School can give you a good foundation, right? But in the end, life and the street, oh man, there is no better experience than that. That's what's going to mold you and teach you the raw lessons of life. Oh, are you nervous for this week? I'm not nervous. I'm not at all. I'm excited. I think the Dolphins are better than the Cowboys. And that's why I was pissed in the Buffalo game, because there's no way that the Dolphins were that bad. No way. That's why it was a fraudulent performance. And I'll stick to that to my deathbed. This team is way better than that. And I'm expecting those kind of performances over the next couple of weeks. I'm expecting a better Mike McDaniel in these moments. I want plays in on time. You know what I'm talking about? All right. I don't want pre-snap penalties. I want logical decisions made in situational times. When it calls to run the damn ball. Punch people in the mouth like you have all year. Don't call plays that make it harder on your players, like fades to Tyreek or fades with zero coverage. Let's go, man. Let's go. If they're giving you a shell up top, like you did in New England early on in the season, you ran for 200 yards, do it again. That's what I want to see. If you play clean, smart football, I think you beat the Cowboys. I really do. And if you're going to get X back, I like this secondary. That's why the stats for this defense has gotten better and better and better and will continue. It's almost like the numbers you currently have are deceiving because you haven't been fully healthy yet on a consistent basis. But if you give me that secondary fully healthy, it changes the dynamics of our entire defense. So once you get Holland and you have X and you have Jalen, the front seven has so much more freedom to do things. I am incredibly excited about this. I am confident because I feel the Dolphins are better than the Cowboys. Now they got to go out and prove it. Everything that I feel about this team, they just have to prove it now. So that way, kind of like the whole Chris Greer thing. I'm the one that predicted them to hire Chris Greer. Okay? I wrote an article in the Athletic. I said it on my shows, whether it was QAM or on Sirius. Hey, fire Tannenbaum and Gase and hire Greer. So I've stuck through that, and it's come through. I've stuck through the same thing with Tua, telling you that flow and all that was the problem. That with this guy has the right stuff around him, he will shine, and there you go. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with Chris Greer, the same thing I've done with Tua. I'm doing it with this team. I have not seen this kind of talent in 35 years. I think you have the best leadership I have ever seen on a Dolphins team in 35 years. I have to go back to Marino and Webb and Sims and Troy Vincent and Marco Coleman and Tim Bowens. And you understand what I'm saying? That's where I have to go back to the very early 90s for me to find this kind of talent, this kind of character on the Dolphins. I have not seen it since the early 90s. So the same way I stuck to my guns with Greer and the front office, and I told you they would prove to be one of the best front offices in the NFL. Nobody was telling you that 5 years ago. Only I was telling you that. Okay? And I'm the nutbag that tells you Tua is Montana a couple of years ago before all this bullshit. Okay? Same thing here. I'm sticking to my guns. This is the most talented team. I think this team wants to be great, and I think the stage is set perfectly. Now they've got to get it done. Now they've got to prove me right. The way Chris Greer and Tua have proved me right, now the team has to prove me right. Cameron Wolf, we unleash the Wolf Pack next.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
All right. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. How you feeling?
Very good. And, you know, Cam, you just got me right at the end of my diatribe there leading into you. And I know you haven't been here long enough to have the perspective that I have, obviously, on the team. But one thing I love about having you on is you've been in a lot of locker rooms.
Yep.
So you've seen a lot of different teams, a lot of different characters,
Yep.
good and bad. Teams are headed in the right direction. Teams are headed in the wrong direction. And one of the things that I talked about leading into your segment was I think this is the most character-filled team, positively I'm talking about, that I've seen, Dolphins team, that I've seen in decades.
Okay.
You know, when I start looking around at the Teron Armsteads and the Jalen Ramseys of the world, and then you start looking around and Tyreek and then Waddle and, you know, before Connor Williams got injured, still a good leader and so many. And then young guys like Van Ginkel that are willing to sell out and Sealer and all that. I just think that this is a team that is primed to want to be great. I think they want to be great. I think this is a team that is hungry for that stage. You tell me.
I think we're going to find out. I think that what I've seen about this team is the most talented and probably the highest potential Dolphins team I've covered in my time here. And probably, I'd say in probably the last 15, 20 years.
35.
Yeah.
I'm telling
you. So the reality of that is all of that sounds great, but if they don't do anything with it, then it just becomes a disappointment. Right. And so I'm going to be cautious here because I think the Dolphins are a very good team. The question we've had all season is, are they elite? Are they a true contender? And I think games like Sunday versus Dallas, games like next week versus Baltimore, games like Buffalo in the season finale, and obviously the playoff games will determine that question because they have done a good job of winning games they're supposed to win, and they have not won a lot of the games they're probably not supposed to win. And so right now, I would say that what we know about the Dolphins is they have lived so far up to their expectations. Now, this period will define if they exceed them or they fall below them. And I think that we talked this summer, and I told you I thought the Dolphins would win the division, and you said the same. And they're on track to do that. And this would be a big accomplishment. But I think all Dolphins fans would say if they don't get at least one playoff win, even if they get a division title, it would be viewed as a disappointment.
Yes.
And so that to me is the barometer of the season. Of course, every fan's going to say you want to win the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying the Dolphins can't win the Super Bowl. I say my barometer for them, finish out the division, win at least one playoff game, and perform well in the second against a team that's probably equal or better than you. And that's the next step. And I think they certainly have it in them to do that. And whether it's more, that's what we'll see over time.
You look at the game last week. There was a lot of logic to the way Mike called the game, but again, he didn't have to get aggressive. overly aggressive at all because he was facing zero offense on the other side.
Right.
But a lot of things that I did like about the way he called the game and how he kind of stuck with the run at times and those kind of things. And then watching Hard Knocks, how he, also took shots at himself at some bad play calls and untimely play calls is what it is. It's not really, it's one of those, it's a situational thing that happens with him at times.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, am I going to see a better situational play caller over the next 3 weeks like I did this past week against the Jets?
I thought the Hard Knocks scene with him calling a trash play was funny because one is accountable for the players, but I don't think that it was. I don't think the players think that it was a trash plays, and I don't know if he fully believes that. But I think there's something about saying it and taking accountability that I think helps everyone. I would say that one of Mike's biggest, I guess, balances that he has to do is when you're so creative as a play caller, when you're creating so much that, for lack of a better word, is revolutionizing the league because you're doing motion, you're doing all of this. It's when to balance the simple plays. When is the right move to just run the ball up the middle, up the A-gap for 3rd and 1, right? Versus creating something where you're going to catch the defense. And I think that's what he has been trying to balance, because when you're so creative, the mundane seems boring. The 3rd and 1 over the middle, let's just do a 1st and 10 run to get 3 yards. Let's do a little if we're 3rd and 5, let's just get 5 yards. Let's throw it right at the sticks, right? Those are things that are like very simple tenets of football. But when you are trying to break the rules of football, a lot of times you don't think in those frames. And so I think those are things that we saw against the Jets, him do. I really like the commitment to the run, even when they struggled in the yards per carry. Like, it's been the opposite this year, right? They've been extremely good in yards per carry, lacking opportunities. The Jets game, they rushed the ball 26 times and averaged less than 3 yards a carry. And I think normally Mike would have seen that average 10 carries into the game and said, I'm not going to run the ball again. It's not working. Why am I going to waste plays on running the ball? But the commitment to the run, especially in the red zone, is what helped them score. And so I think that you're seeing Mike learning and adjusting, which is what you want any really good coach to do.
Yeah. And to me, listen, this is going to be his test now over the next 3 weeks for him and his team. And he knows he wasn't ready that moment against the Bills last year. Hopefully, it'll be a different story. If Miami wins, what's the element that put them over the top, Cam?
I think that if they win, they were able to slow down the Cowboys passing attack. They were able to limit CeeDee Lamb, whether that's Jalen Ramsey spending a lot of time on him, or whether it's Kader Kohou stepping up and playing out of his mind, a combination of them both. I think they're able to limit the Cowboys passing attack, forcing them to kick a lot of field goals, and they do enough on offense. I don't know that this is a game where they go out and score 40 points or put up 500-600 yards. But I think this is a game where their defense plays really well and they get enough from the passing attack, from Tyreek, from Waddle. Tyreek will play, by the way, from Raheem, for them to win the game. And so I don't know that there's a blowout in store, but I think that the defense leads this victory and the offense makes enough plays, a few splash plays down the field in the passing attack, and they continue leaning on Raheem and Devon, and they win that game. So I'd say it looks very much like 24-20.
Will you see any Chris Brooks?
I don't think we'll see any Chris Brooks on offense. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him on special teams to come back.
I just say his blocking. His
blocking's good, but I will tell you, they really have trusted Raheem a lot in his blocking. Like, I think early on, maybe there was a belief.
I'm talking about Brooks blocking for Raheem. I'm talking about
the fullback. What about Alec? Alec can do that.
No, he will do that, but I could see them mixing in a little Brooks because of the other option he brings to the team. He's a devastating blocker like Ingold, actually.
That's true. But I will say it is just his first game back. So I think there probably will be some easing of him back. What I will be eager to see and I know it probably won't affect much, but is Jeff Wilson inactive? How many running backs can you have?
Really good one.
I think that, quietly we haven't mentioned it, but as Devon Achane has come back, Jeff Wilson's role has become obsolete within this offense. And so is there a role for him?
And Brooks is more versatile than Wilson.
Absolutely. Wilson does not play special teams, and Brooks does. And so there's more he can do. Brooks can play a little bit of fullback, some H-back. Jeff Wilson's just strictly a running back, and he's the third best running back on their team who doesn't play special teams. And so does Brooks' return essentially make Jeff Wilson a healthy scratch and make Jeff Wilson essentially the third running back and the special teams guy? That's something I don't know. I'm not reporting that that's going to happen, but it's something that I'm watching. It's going to be, I think that's a possibility.
What's the thing that you would tell the Dolphin Nation that they have to fear the most from the Cowboys this weekend?
Yes, the pass rush. I know the offensive line has been really good this year, but I do think that injuries start to mount, and you wonder, with the right side of the offensive line in particular really banged up this week. Robert Hunt and Austin Jackson didn't practice for the second straight day. That's usually a sign that they're not going to play. You'll have Teron. You're going to have Liam playing through his injury, but that right side of the offensive line, if they line up Micah Parsons on that side, if they line up DeMarcus Lawrence on that side, and just try to get after your backups. Kendall Lamb's been good, but he's been better on the left side than the right side. And so what does that do? Tua was really good out of getting the ball out of his hands out quickly against the Jets. I think it was his quickest time to throw game of his career. But what happens if the Cowboys are very aggressive at the line of scrimmage? They have some corners in Deron Bland, who leads NFL history in pick sixes. And so what he does best is watching tape and jumping routes. So if Tua is making his mind up pre-snap and throwing to routes,
plays too.
Huh?
He gives up plays
too, but he gives up plays often when you hit him with a double move. If you're getting him, but you got to have time to get to that double move, right? Yeah. And so those are the matchups I'm watching. How much can the pass rush get to Tua with the bang up offensive line? How much can Tua offset that with his quick passing to those playmakers? And does Dallas take more chances on those quick passes? And who wins? Does Dallas get a couple picks because of it, or does Miami burn them for taking chances? I think that matchup is the matchup I'm worried the most about. Their passing attack versus, the Dallas aggressiveness on defense. I think that Miami has some matchup advantages there. I think Tyreek and Waddle against anybody, I'm taking Tyreek and Waddle. But like I said, because of the banged up offensive line, there's going to be some schematic elements that I'm really eager to see. But Tua's anticipation and timing, which Gerald Bevel told me once again is a skill for folks who do not believe it is going to come and be a big factor in this one. And so that's the matchup I'm most excited to see, honestly.
I don't know why anybody would be worried about this right now, but they're asking me, Big O, explain the Cam Smith situation. Does Vic not like him? I don't think it's that Vic doesn't like him. It's just he's green. He's rookie. The light hasn't gone on. And if you haven't gone on, then Vic doesn't have any use for you right now. That's all. I mean, it's just one of those things. But right now they have enough depth that's not really a concern. But you go ahead. Tell me about Cam Smith.
Yeah, I would say that Vic Fangio does have a tendency of players he feels like he trusts. He's a big trust guy. Of course. And he does not trust Cam Smith. It's point blank. Like, you can term it however you want, like doesn't like this guy, doesn't feel like his skill. To me, I think it's whether it's right or wrong. I don't know if Cam Smith's given him a lot of reason not to trust him or not, or if it's just an inherent dislike of rookie cornerbacks or distrust of rookie cornerbacks. But there's clearly not much trust in Cam on the field. And I'll say this, like what I was told early on in the season is that big scheme is a lot of off technique. You're playing a lot of zone coverage, but not only zone coverage, you're playing off. Whereas Cam Smith's game, when you were looking at South Carolina, he's a press corner. He likes to play press man, press zone, doesn't matter. He wants to be physical and get hands on receivers. He got docked a lot in college because he was handsy. And so my educated guess, knowing what I know, is just the balance of transitioning from being a press corner who's handsy to being an off-man corner, and he's maybe made some mistakes in practice, whether it's penalties or not transitioning, that has caused him not to get that trust. At the same token, there has to be a connect between what the front office saw in Cam Smith, the scouting department saw in Cam Smith, and what the coaches saw in him, because the reality is you're going to need him. Maybe it won't be this week. Maybe it won't even be this season, but eventually you're going to need Cam Smith to be a player in this team. So they're going to have to work that out whenever. But I think right now it's the lack of compatibility in what Cam Smith is best at versus what Vic Fangio wants his corners to be good at.
Yeah, and I don't think they have time right now to work on the project. Because they have to move. They're a team that's for the now. They're trying to win the now. So they've got to go with people that are a little bit more experienced right now and understand what they need. And that's it. And that's understandable. I get this. I'm not going to be concerned about this till after next season. If he doesn't make an impact next season and he's not acclimating himself, then I'll be concerned. But first-year players, I'm never concerned about first-year players because I've seen a ton of them that don't acclimate themselves in the first year. Pat Surtain didn't do much in the first year at all.
Yeah.
He could not get on the field, dude. Terrell Buckley was trusted, and he wasn't. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the reality. I mean, they're and it's not only young corners. Like, for example, Emmanuel Agba had this situation for much of the season, and I think Emmanuel Agba is a really good player. And to me, it was puzzling. But for whatever reason, Vic Fangio did not see him as a fit for what he wanted, and so he trusted Andrew Van Ginkel more. He trusted, obviously Jalen and Bradley Chubb more. And so Emmanuel was not getting reps, and Emmanuel had some frustration periods. And what happened? Injuries happened, and Emmanuel ended up playing, and Emmanuel had produced. And Emmanuel essentially proved wrong, maybe the lack of trust or whatever doubt that Vic had in him. And he's not getting his full reps, but he's earned more reps. And so eventually maybe it comes this time at some point this season. It's a long season. If there's an opportunity for Cam Smith to be out there on the field, he's got to be able to prove Vic Fangio's maybe lack of trust in him wrong.
And by the way, I'll give you another Cam, although it doesn't come with the same kind of weight because he's not a high pick, but Cam Good slowly but surely just gets a little bit more piecemeal. And, it's just one of those things. Young players, you're just going to have to kind of earn your keep with him and earn your trust with him at this point in time. That's all. I wouldn't worry that much about it until next year. Next year is the year to worry about. Never freak out. I remember Omar and I going back and forth on Jay Ajayi, and he didn't have a good rookie year, and he had some injuries. And I was like, you can't give up on the guy. You got to give him some time and let him grow. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, next year, he didn't have the injuries. They gave him the opportunity, and he had a great season. Sometimes with young people, we have to be a little patient. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's all, but it's not too bad. So what's the prediction?
24-20, Miami. I think it'll be a little lower scoring than people think. I think people assume that because of the offenses, it'll be in the 30s. But I think both defenses will come with something to prove. Miami obviously did last week against the Jets, and Dallas has heard all week about how they're soft. They gave up 266 rushing yards to Buffalo. Typically, teams respond well in those situations after they've been trashed all week. And so I think it'll be a back and forth game. I think it's going to be an excellent game. And I think Miami wins 24-20.
Normally the winner takes a trophy home, takes a title home, all that. In this one, it's called the Fraud Bowl. The loser is the one that's going to walk away. It's going to be really painful for the loser. Just so
absolutely, you get solidified as a fraud versus the winner. You're off those charges for at least 1 week. They're gone.
Crazy shit. All right, Cam, have a great weekend. Merry Christmas, my brother. Enjoy the football.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir. Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf and catch his work there at, of course, the NFL Network doing his thing. Cameron Wolf. We unleash the Wolf Pack.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
Zachary, the Tyndall stuff that one sucks because you drafted him with the other defensive coordinator. And so you don't know if Vic would have wanted him for this defense. And that's when you change coordinators, we just went through the Ogba thing, it's just one of those deals. Brandon Jones doesn't fit his scheme. Ogba doesn't fit his scheme. And these are things that end up happening. Some people feel that Christian Wilkins doesn't fit his scheme. It sucks. That's the part that sucks about making changes, that there is a domino effect to it, and Channing Tindall's light never went on in the rookie year. And then now a new system came in and, we don't really know if he really even fits this system. Although he is kind of the guy that they want. They do want guys that are a little bit more agile and can fly around sideline to sideline in the middle. So we shall see. We shall see what we shall see. But that happens when you switch coordinators. It definitely ruins some of the talent on your team because some of it is not going to fit the new coordinator's demands, unfortunately. Let's see. What else do we have here? Tyndall was supposed to be blitzer, right? These guys are high draft picks and can't get on the field. That happens sometimes. Dolphins will crush Brokeback Mountain Cowboys. It's not that simple. Scheme development, other options, all play factors in this. Yes, exactly. Jayhawk says, what sucks about this GM is that even if the Finns win it will be looked at as not a great win because the boys and the Finns have the same reputation. Yeah, but it's unfortunately, like I told you, I'm more impressed with Tua 2 years ago coming off the bench. Okay. In a week, he didn't practice because they told him to go away, because that's what Flo does. Go away. You're not playing. This is Brissett's team. And then Tua comes off the bench and beats the Ravens. Like I told you, that's more impressive to me than the next 2 weeks. Beating the Ravens team now or 2 years ago, I'd rather 2 years ago with the crap you had around Tua, that's more impressive. Way more impressive. Tua winning with a hell of a lot less. But the totality of this moment, because you've got 10 wins, because you can have 12 or 13 when it's all said and done. We have not been talking about 12 or 13 wins here and a number 1 seed and winning the division and all that. Are you kidding me, dude? I'm like, whoa, did you guys resurrect Shula? Is the old man back? Where is he? We won 12 or 13 games and number 1 and home field advantage throughout it. Where's Shoes? Where is he? Where's the jaw? I need to see the jaw. I mean, I'm telling you, this is exciting stuff. So the totality of it is what it is. It's not about the one victory. It's about stringing together these really important wins for the big picture of it all. That's what it's all about. And that's the way we need to look at it. And hopefully they're able to overcome it, because that would be really, really nice. The hiring of Fangio was a key piece in having a top 5 defense, and Jalen Ramsey, of course. Think Blue Dodgers, says front office of the decade for sure. Front office of the last 30 years. Easily. Way better than anybody that was here. Chris Greer runs circles around Jimmy Johnson. circles. Okay. Oh, the players to watch against Dallas: Prescott, Lamb, and Noah Igbenogany, baby. Oh, that would be funny if Noah gives up a couple touchdowns in this game. Remember what Shannon Sharp said. Tua had the great Sammy Parker to throw to prior to Hill. Yep, that's true. Sammy Parker. You know, that's Shannon Sharp. At his at his steakhouse enjoying this season. Who's at his steakhouse enjoying this season? I didn't pick up on that one, Alex. Don't, of course, remember you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And of course, you can make a Bitcoin donation in the process. How we doing in the crypto market right now? Ethereum's up over 4%. It's over 2,300. ADA still flirting around 62 cents. It's at 3.5%. Polygon is up nearly 8%. It's at almost 85 cents. So it is climbing. Atom up 4.5%, over $11. Polkadot over $8. It's up 7%. Gala Games up over 7%. Illuvium up over 6%. What else? Solana up almost 10%. It's up to $96. Man, I remember when it was at $10, $11. It's made a hell of a bounce back. Algorand up 10%, up to 23 cents. Alethea, Liquid Intelligence Token, it's up nearly 7%. And Bitcoin right now at 43,700. So it continues to hang right around the 44K range. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. Don't forget, folks, if your company wants to be a part of our platform, and we would love to have you as a sponsor, please reach out to us, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. That's our business line. If your business wants to join our platform, maybe you want to be a sponsor of one of our insiders, or maybe we can broadcast live from your business and promote your business every week, every month, every quarter, give us a ring, 786-754-4664. Sean, you got something?
Front Office Sports is reporting that, Florida State had its emergency board of trustees meeting this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State said it would cost $572 million to leave the ACC. I know it was estimated around $500 million, but they said it was going to be $572.
It's like an ironclad contract that they have, dude. Like you can't
going to be able to get out of that thing.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure legally they'll try to find some loophole. You see how many players aren't playing in the bowl game, which I'm not surprised that it's going to be a shitty bowl game. And Florida State got screwed, dude. You did something disgusting by them. They did everything right to earn the right to be there. And you didn't give them their proper respect of being in that championship moment, because you just never know if their backup quarterback would have had, the day of his life that he becomes the guy that day. You just never know. You took away the possibility of a great moment in college football. There's a chance that they could have struggled and they wouldn't have been any good. And then you just never know. And we had this conversation already when we talked about Bernard Tiger Clark filling in for George Myra Jr. And we thought we were screwed as Canes fans. And that guy came out and pretty much saved the season, and you won it. And nobody thought the Canes would beat Nebraska in our first championship. Nobody. Okay. Us blind ass fans here. This 17-year-old watching the television and going crazy and all that kind of stuff. That's about it. That's about it. That's the only way. And, you gave an opportunity and it happened. And they took that opportunity away from Florida State because we assumed that they weren't going to win it. But then again, they weren't supposed to win the last two games and they still found ways to finish them off. I understand Florida State's anger completely. I would be furious if it was the University of Miami. I don't think they'll be able to get out of it, unfortunately, but it's wrong, man. Definitely wrong. I saw an Instagram post video that showed all of the players drafted, traded, and picked for up in free agency to put this team together. It was awesome. Yeah, of course, man. I mean, by now, if you're still picking on Greer, you're an idiot. You know nothing about football, dude. It's like listening to a Trumpy talk politics. To be honest, Big O, I thought Devontae Parker, a.k.a. Sammy Parker, was going to be great, contrary to what Shannon Sharp thinks. Well, when he first got drafted, yeah, but obviously the injuries. I was a big Parker guy when he first got drafted, if anybody knows. I love Parker coming out of the draft. But, man, unfortunately, the injuries became just a terror for his body. His body was not built, unfortunately. Best rooster I have seen in a long time. Or roster, I'm sorry, roster. But you could call it a rooster, too. Kikiriki. What else do we have here? Tua Wilkins, Holland Phillips, to Chan, Waddle, Jackson, Hunt, and I'm not including free agent, all those draft picks. Come on, man. This front office has done a great job. This front office has been amazing, dude. Absolutely amazing. It's been this front office is pure greatness. All right, let's take a break. 1 hour down. Manny Navarro will join us in hour number 2, so we'll have a little fun with Manny. We'll get the latest after the Canes had one hell of a recruiting class. Your questions, your comments. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. We'll continue to talk a little Dolphins. Got some other things around the NFL to talk about. Got our 3A Graphics sports calendar, a little music, a little entertainment, some concerts coming up, all kinds of stuff. Quick break. Hour number 2 is next.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right. Hope you all are doing well and hanging in there. Thank you all for supporting us here on the program. Please share the link of the show, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, visit our amazing sponsors like Welt and Rayom, Daniel Rayom, Jeff Welt. Jeff is a huge Dolphins fan, Canes fan, Panther, Marlins, Inter. He's a local guy like a lot of us. And they've been at this for well over 20 years, folks. So make sure if you're looking for, protection when it comes to bankruptcy. Unfortunately, bankruptcy claims are the highest they've been in a long, long time. Unfortunately, a lot of people have just dug into their savings accounts. People are digging into their 401ks like never before. It is tough, man. If you deal with homeowner property damage, we have storms all the time. You see what happened in California yesterday? They just got walloped right away, flooding everywhere, and these storms pop out of nowhere. So if you have some property damage, condo, home, man, call the people at Welton Rayom before you call the insurance companies. 954-966-4646. DeSantis did you no help whatsoever with the new insurance laws, okay? Those new insurance laws, they help the insurance companies. So make sure you get the proper protection with your lawyers, because if not, you're going to end up on the short end of the stick here. Have the right people representing you. 954-966-4646, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Call Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646. All right. Every QB needs good receivers. How Mahomes looking this year with his receivers? Look at the stats. Numbers don't lie. No, it definitely helps out. I mean, all the great quarterbacks usually had great receiving cores, man. That's just the way it is. If you're putting up great numbers, you probably had some amazing receivers that helped you along the way. It's a two-way street. This weekend, this is kind of interesting, because it's something that a lot of you were concerned about. I had my concerns, but only my concerns were depending on the individual, is the way I looked at it. Unlike a lot of you out there that you looked at it in a hopeless situation. And I'm talking about Tua Tagovailoa playing a season. So Mason Rudolph is going to start for the Steelers on Saturday. He will be the 58th different starting quarterback for an NFL game this season. Okay? And if Wilson isn't cleared to play on Sunday, then Trevor Siemian's expected to start for the Jets, and he would be the 59th starting quarterback this NFL season. So that's amazing. We're approaching every team playing two quarterbacks. Okay? And I was of the ilk, it was all up to Tua. If he played the way Marino plays and Peyton Manning and Drew Brees and those guys, he can play for 15 to 20 years, like I said. Now, if he wants to keep playing hero ball, then yeah, Tua's not going to. What did I say last year? Anybody remember the magical year I said? I said Tua will be out of football in 7 years. Because his crazy ass will keep playing and getting concussions and putting shoulders into people and all that. And obviously, his body's going to break in half if you're going to do that. Because Drew Brees not going to last that way. Marino wasn't going to do that shit. You think I was ever going to see Marino put a shoulder into somebody? Get the hell out of here, dude. Marino has no time for that shit. And I don't want him to do that. And I don't want Drew Brees. And I don't want Tom Brady. And I don't want Peyton Manning. And they're all statues. Just get rid of the football. And he's understood how he has to play the game so he can play an entire season, and our beloved Miami Dolphins can win a Super Bowl. Because the only way you're going to win double-digit games like you are already is if you play smart, sir. And look at him, playing smart. Oh, he gets rid of it quickly. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. The idea is not to hold on to the ball. Hey, let's play Russian roulette football style. I'll hold the ball, get rid of the last second, and see if I don't take a hit. Yeah, that's not the game you want to play. So some teams are playing their second, some teams are playing their third quarterback. A whole bunch of you wanted Tua to quit football. I laughed at you then. Okay? I laughed at you silly idiots out there. Oh, he's got to quit football. Oh my God, the concussion, this, that. And for those of you that are new to the channel, and maybe you weren't tuned in last year when all this mess was going on, you know how I made fun of those people? Do they tell minors to quit? Because I see them get stuck in those mines all the time, breathing, and their lungs must be dog shit by now. Anybody tell lifeguards to quit? Anybody tell cops to quit? You telling your military to quit? Telling a race car driver to quit? You telling the FPL guy to stop climbing poles, or a woman climb poles, you might get electrocuted? Just wondering. We're doing that. We telling firemen, firewomen, don't run into that building. You know what I mean? It's silly bullshit that we had with the media. Like, oh, okay, so you want to run somebody else's life. Meanwhile, there are millions all over the world risking their lives doing so many other things for a hell of a lot less money. And you're not telling them to quit their lives. Are you telling the cliff diver to stop diving off cliffs? Because that shit's dangerous. Yeah. So this is what we had to deal with. We had to deal with idiots, right? That, you know, want people to quit because that's the easiest thing in life. Quit. Man, that word is so easy. Determination, dedication. That's a hell of a lot harder. So you just got to figure out how to do it right. And Tua's doing it right. Tua's doing it like what we said you got to do. Get rid of the ball, bro. Play like everybody else that came before you. And, man, it's been pretty cool to see that he made that adjustment. Because by Tua making that adjustment, that assures you, the Miami Dolphins fan, you're going to have a franchise quarterback for a long time to come. And I love also, and Mike has talked about this, that Tua is a guy that learns. He'll screw up like all of us, but then he's going to learn. He's going to learn from that moment, you know? Don't forget, if your business wants to be a part of our platform, 786-754-4664. You want to be a sponsor of one of our segments. You want us to maybe broadcast live from your business to promote your great business. Please reach out to us, 786-754-4664. And yes, we will travel also. So please reach out. Let's see, Frankie. Marcel said Tua had to be more off script, but Tua is not that. He's a pocket passer, and if he can stay healthy and continue, he does do off script stuff. Go watch. He does off script stuff all the time, where he avoids pressure and moves and buys himself, and then makes a play. He does do it. It's just not something that, it's the same as Drew Brees. It's the same as Tom Brady. It's the same as Dan Marino. It's going to be a little shift, a little move, a foot there, a foot there. We're not going to go do the Mahomes and the Josh Allen stuff. The problem with a lot of you out there is you keep pushing the envelope and going somewhere else where you don't need to go. You don't need to go. Tua's just fine the way he is. He can be a world champion many times over, okay? It's just a matter of everything else being the right way. And that's how Montana wins titles. And that's how anybody wins titles. You put the right people around them, and then you allow that person to do their thing. That's all. It's just don't make it out to be, see, it's pretty simple. While he's not going to be Mr. I'm going to scramble like Fran Tarkenton and Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes, and no, that's or Lamar Jackson, or none of that's going to happen. But guess what? All those guys can't be pinpoint accurate like Tua is consistently. Lamar Jackson, in his dreams, isn't a quarter of the passer that Tua is. In his dreams, he isn't a quarter of the passer of Tua. Okay? Not 75, not half. He's not 25% of the passer that Tua is. So while he can't run around like a deer, well, Lamar Jackson can't be pinpoint accurate on a consistent basis because it's not in his game. All you got to do is watch that rinky-dink offense, and you'll see he can't be accurate on a consistent basis. So it's the same thing. It goes both ways. Josh Allen can't be accurate as Tua on a consistent basis. He will spray the ball. It's in his DNA. Tua will never spray the ball. He might be off once or twice, but he ain't spraying shit. That's the difference. And that's where we got to kind of get off of trying to keep moving the goalpost and bringing something into the conversation like that has nothing to do with it. Kopitar 1132, one person who said Hamlin should retire. Name one person who said Hamlin should retire. I don't know who Hamlin is. Who's Hamlin? Am I missing something here?
DeMar Hamlin after the incident on the field.
Oh, yeah. They said he should retire too. Yeah. Well, that was a heart thing. It's a whole different ballgame when they stop your heart in the middle of the field. That is kind of, I kind of get that one in a way, even though they all said medically that was like a freakish moment because it was a hit right in the middle of the beat, right? I think that's how, if I remember how I was reading it. And so it's so rare that it could happen like so timely like that. So they felt that he could continue, but okay, that's your heartbeat stopping in the middle of the field and they had to resurrect you. So that's completely different than a concussion that can be avoided. That's the key. Concussion that can be avoided. That's for sure. Let's see. When you see Tua leading the league in throw time, adjustment at it best. Last year, our O-line wasn't nearly as reliable, not giving Tua as much time to throw. He has adapted to survive. Well, you're playing the game the way you're supposed to play the game. Boxing is the art of hitting and not hitting. Okay? When they step into the ring and they're slugging it out, that's really not boxing. That's a brawl. What Sugar Ray Leonard did for many years, what Mayweather has done, that's boxing. That's actually how the game is supposed to be played. You understand? And so in football, it's kind of the same way. Okay? You don't play the game to get hit. You play the game to try to avoid the hits. All right? That's kind of the way that's the tact that you want to have, the clean tact. You want to try to complete passes and you want your players to be as clean as possible. You don't want them taking hits. You don't want to put it in too many tight windows where it makes it difficult for the receiver and then brutal for him at the same time. That's kind of the way the game is played. I talk a lot about efficiency in basketball, right? Especially with Bam, right? It's sure you scored 20 points. That's fantastic, dude, but not on 18 and 20 shots. I'm sorry. That's just not efficient. I need you to play closer to the basket. I need you to score 20 points on 7 of 10 shooting. That's where I need you to score the 20 points. Okay? I don't need you to take 18, 20 shots to score 20. I don't need you to take 26 shots to score 26 points. And if you had to take 28 shots to score 30, you're not very good. That's not efficient. That's not really greatness. Okay? You're giving a lot of extra rebounds. You're giving extra fast break points. You're giving up stuff to the opponent because of your inefficiency. And so the sport, any sport, you want to try to play with efficiency. And that's exactly what Tua is playing with. He's playing with efficiency. I don't need you to take your shoulder and put it into somebody. Don't need that at all. You know what I mean? I don't want it. And Tyreek, I love it, bro. You get 15 yards, you see a defender coming, boom, you dart right outside. Love it. Don't need you to take that hit at all. It's beautiful. Live for the next play. Intelligence and efficiency is incredibly important in sports. It makes you a better player. It makes your team better. Makes your team more efficient. All right. Official Inter Miami have signed Luis Suarez. Fantastic. All right. Let's see what else. I don't remember anyone saying he should retire after he literally died. Oh, yeah. No, there were people that said he should retire. You can go back and look at it. Just put DeMar Hamlin should retire, and it'll probably come up all over the place. I'm sure of it. Let's see. Let's have some fun, right? DeMar Hamlin should retire. Let's see. From NFL. Oh, well, no, I'm not going to give them any credit. Will DeMar Hamlin retire on Sportskeeda? Will DeMar Hamlin play football again on NBC News? Let me see. Okay, here we go. DeMar Hamlin should retire. Who's this? Some show. 11. has Damar Hamlin's incident changed people's views on football? Parents must make hard decisions. Bro, you're talking about your take is lazy because that opens it up for them to panic on all that shit. And they all, I mean, on the Tua stuff, we had people that wanted Tua to retire left and right. You think they're going to want Damar Hamlin to retire? You know, they're all quiet now. Now nobody says anymore Tua should retire because, you know, it's really easy to give up on somebody else's life. You know what I mean? So it's just funny. It's hilarious, actually. All right, let's do it. Manny Navarro is ready to go. Let's get a quick update with the Canes and our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good? Ready for a lot of pork this weekend?
A lot of reporting this weekend?
Pork.
Oh, yeah, pork. Pork for sure. I'm ready. I'm ready for Noche Buena. There's no question.
Okay. All right.
How about you?
Yeah, I've lost weight. I'm in this whole fasting thing. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell in my face. I have less round now. You know what I mean?
No, it looks good. You're looking good, brother.
Yeah, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. You know, it's a war we've waged forever, bro. You know how it is.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of fasting, so that I'm just waiting for that one night where I do have to, you got to unleash the Kraken.
Yeah.
You know, so, I can't stop now. When you bring out the pork and the rice and the beans and the maluros and I will treat myself and then probably starve for 24 hours after that. But yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to it. All right, so the one hell of a class, right? I mean, kind of what we expected from Mario Cristobal, that he would be a monster recruiter, and that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, I mean, for them to finish with a top 5 recruiting class after having a top 10 class a year ago, it's really what he was brought in to do, was to raise the level of talent in the building. And I know a lot of people for years were like, oh, Miami's still recruiting great. You know, they have all these top 20 classes. There's a difference between being a top 5 recruiting class and a top 15 recruiting class. Just depth, the number of first-round picks you get in those classes. I mean, I think I threw this stat in my story the other day, but since 2008, since the Miami Hurricane streak ended, there's only been 6 first-round picks out of the university, and they had 43 from 1983 to 2008. So, you know, it's a different caliber of player, certainly, that's been at Miami. And I think, yes, his coaching has to improve, but so does the level of talent. If you're going to compete with Alabama and Georgia, you got to recruit like Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah, but you also got to take a knee when you need to take a knee. Okay?
1,000%, brother. 1,000%. You got to do everything as far as coaching and development to get the program to where it needs to be. But
yeah, because it's just like while I love to hear that they had a great recruiting class, I'm not really shocked because Mario Cristobal has been a top recruiter since he was at Alabama, bro. So this is nothing new to me that this guy can find and unearth talent. And, now quarterback-wise, what's the deal?
Well, I think it's basically coming down to negotiating with Cam Ward and whether or not he's deciding to go pro or to make probably $1.5 million or more for one season at Miami. I think that's basically what we've come down to. I think in the event that Ward decides he wants to go pro, then you're going to look at some other options. There's some other guys that are available. KJ Jefferson is one of them, the starter at Arkansas. I think Will Howard hasn't made a decision yet either as far as USC is concerned, if I'm not mistaken. So those guys are still available, and I think that's plan B, plan C, and you go from there.
Cam doesn't talk. Do we know what he's
No,
thinking?
Cam doesn't talk. His dad does a lot of talking. Max Olson, who works with me at the Athletic, spoke to his dad earlier this week, and basically the lay of the land was that by the end of the week we might have a decision here from Cam whether or not he wants to stay in college. I think the family wants him to go pro, but it's a matter of what he likes. And if you're going to make $1.5 million or something similar to that for 1 year at Miami, that's definitely more than you would for fourth or fifth round pick in the NFL, right? What would you make as a fourth or fifth round pick?
Oh, a lot less.
Yeah.
A lot less. You're going to make $400,000 or some shit like that,
right?
A first round pick or something like that, and you're going to make way more. Plus, you'll probably add on top of the 1.5, and especially if you start having success, other sponsors will want to piggyback on, and you're making $2 million easy before it's all said and done. But is there any hardship? Do we know in the family? Is that why they're
No. I don't. I mean, listen.
Doesn't make any sense to stay 1 year compared to a fourth or fifth round pick. A fourth or fifth round pick isn't going to get the light of day in the NFL. So you're better off. I know you're starting on your second contract and all that, but still, dude, $1.5 million is a lot of money.
It's a lot of cheese. There's no question, and I think most people would say stay in college. But again, I don't know. I don't know the thinking behind their process and what they believe and what they know and what NFL teams have told them. Who knows what NFL teams have said to them?
Okay. All right. So, and what's the cutoff date? What do we know?
I think they have until when is the portal? Well, once you're in, and he's a grad transfer anyway, it doesn't matter. He could take as long as he wants. I think obviously Mario and company would like it done soon. But
right. All right. Is there anything tied to this? Like, is there another player that they're waiting on? That player's waiting on Cam, and maybe they'll get an extra running back, receiver, lineman, or something like that?
I don't think so. His teammate at Washington State are.
Whoop. Hold on. He'll come back. There we go. His teammate at. Whoa. No, not yet. No. Don't you love live? Live is so fun. Okay, now we can bring him up. Okay.
Now we're good.
Now good. His teammate at Washington State, go.
His top receiver, I think, is transferred to Texas Tech, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it's already done, as far as like any guys maybe that he wanted with him. So I don't think it's necessarily waiting for anybody else.
Okay. Is there, besides the Will guy, is there a plan C have you heard of?
Yeah, KJ Jefferson, I think, is plan C, the former Arkansas starting quarterback. I think he's basically the third option. Look, a lot of schools have already loaded up on quarterback, the ones that needed them. So the market is sort of slowed down a little bit, right? Like I don't want to say you can be picky and choosy, but certainly if some of the top jobs are already taken, and I think those guys look at the University of Miami in high regard, right? Like I can go there, be the starting quarterback at for a good team. I would prefer that. So I think it's sort of waiting for the dominoes to fall, and I think Cam is that first one.
Okay. All right. What are you working on the Athletic so folks can check you out, my friend?
Well, we had a ton of stuff. We had a podcast where we covered a ton of recruiting topics, the Until Saturday podcast. If people want to check that out, it's me, Ari Wasserman, Grace Rayner. I just wrote a big story on Jeremiah Smith. I know there was a delay in his signing. I was with him for basically 24-hour span and talking to the family, talking to people around him about the whole situation. He ultimately picked Ohio State. So I have a long read on that. I have a column on Miami, and the fact that they still need a quarterback, talking about the recruiting class. So there's a ton to read on the website. There'll be more. It never ends. I'll be going up to the Under Armour All-American game next week, covering the Orange Bowl, be around FSU and the whole ACC thing. So there's tons of stuff to read at The Athletic.
No shot they really get out, right? Because that whole thing, 570.
Yeah, I don't know if the Saudis are going to help cover if they're going to team up with the Saudis to help cover some of these expenses to get out of the ACC. But the bigger question is where they're going to go. And everything I've heard from the get-go, from Jump Street, was the Big Ten wouldn't take them, and neither is the SEC. So if you're not going to one of those two conferences, where are you going? You're going to go to the Big 12?
Right.
That's like staying in the ACC.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Right. Yeah, you're right about that.
So I just, and I don't know why the Big Ten or the SEC would take them. Florida and South Carolina would be pissed if they took Miami, if they took Florida State and Clemson. So I just think those two conferences are content. They've got great TV contracts. There's no reason to throw a helping hand Florida State's way.
Crazy stuff. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Manny, have a great Christmas. Enjoy the food, my brother. We'll catch up next week.
All right, brother. You too. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Don't forget Caneswear. If you go online, you use our code BIG010, you will get 10% off. If you order over $99, you will get free shipping. They've got all kinds of great hats. So go check it out at caneswear.com. And if you go personally, use our code BIG010 and you will get 10% off. Okay? So caneswear.com, anything and everything with the Canes logo. They got stuff with Dolphins logos, Panthers, Marlins, Heat, Inter Miami. They don't have a Luis Suarez jersey yet, but it's coming now that he is officially signed with Inter Miami. Caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Yeah, that's right. Brett is right. That is the spot that Miami fans shop. Cutter's Edge Pro. We love talking about William Quigley, the stud that is William Quigley. Tree trimming, removals, landscape design, outdoor lighting, irrigation, synthetic turf. And if you own dogs like we do, the synthetic turf is awesome. Oh, they planted 2 Sylvester pumps, one in the backyard and one in the front yard. Let me tell you something. I don't know what William Quigley does with his trees, okay? But first of all, you can go hire some other nurseries out there, some other landscaping companies, and you can order their palm trees, right? Any kind, Sylvester or other kinds. And they'll bring out some skinny ass palm tree that you hope it takes forever to grow. And finally, when it comes to Cutter's Edge Pro, their plants, their trees, they give you like real healthy trees. Like the tree trunk that they brought us, man, that thing was thick. And, my wife and I were actually talking about this last night. We were standing outside with the dogs and we were looking at the tree, and that sumbitch has grown so much in over a year. And that's because the quality that Cutter's Edge Pro brings to the table. A lot of people, you go and you want to put up some new plants, and maybe for a fence, you want to use trees, but then they put these little skinny, weak ass trees, man. When you go to Cutter's Edge Pro, the nurseries that they use, these are healthy, and you're going to pay the same kind of prices. Sometimes you might pay slightly a little bit more, but the quality you're going to get is not even close. And that's the difference there, where you see your tree looks healthy and huge and the other one looks skinny, and you're like, wow, I hope in a couple of years it looks good. Meanwhile, your tree looks absolutely outstanding right from the get-go. Cutter's Edge Pro. You want quality? You want it done the right way? We got artificial turf that's going on 2 years now. Not one blade of grass has ever come through. Do you know why? Because nobody packs it in like they do. I watched them do this from the get-go, and they made sure they killed everything under there. And they made sure not one blade of grass would ever come through. You can go get artificial turf done somewhere else. And guess what? It'll probably be done shitty 6 months, a year from now, and you got blades of grass growing all over the place. And you're calling them going, yo, what up? What up with this? That's not going to happen with Cutter's Edge Pro. And the way everything's designed, they designed everything. We have landscaping like on the back end and then the artificial turf, right? So when it rains, it drains to the back. That's how it's engineered on top of that. So it's landscaping engineered properly for you. I can't tell you enough because I've seen it all. So if you want it done well and done it right at your home so it looks great, and it raises the value of your home. You want it for your HOA complex or your business. You call the best in the business. Cutter's Edge Pro. William Quigley, right there, 954-472-0622. That's 954-472-0622. The best in the business. Cutter's Edge Pro. Expect, and you get it, excellence. All right. Hey, you know what? Let me get into a little change up a little bit, a little music, a little entertainment. Why don't we do that? Let me get to birthdays first and foremost, right? December 22nd. Meghan Trainor. She is 30 years old. The Baby, the rapper, is 32. Madeline McGraw, TV actress, is 15. Jordan Sparks, Felipe Sparks' daughter. She is 34, an Idol contestant. Raphael Finnis, the movie actor, is 61. Let's see. Vanessa Paradis is 51, the pop singer. Naomi Biden? Is that like Biden's daughter? It's his family member. Why the hell would they put Naomi Biden? It's depressing enough as it is that it's a Biden. Why do you have to even bring that up? Let's see what else. No, that's it. Nothing else. The rest are TikTok stars and people that I have no idea. Moon Bayul, a rapper, a lady. She's 31, an Asian girl. I've never even heard of her. I don't even know if it's legit. It's probably somewhere else. She's probably not even famous here. All right, let's go to music history. Why don't we? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I think I went to the wrong one in the music history, to be quite honest. I went to December 25th. But you know what? Let me, since we're not going to be on Christmas Day, why don't we see what happened in music history on Christmas Day? What the hell, right? In 1959 on Christmas Day, an 18-year-old apprentice engineer from Liverpool named Richard Starkey got his first real set of drums for Christmas. He'd later make a career out of it and go by the name of Ringo Starr. In 1968, Led Zeppelin on Christmas arrived in the United States for the very first time in preparation for their debut of the North American tour. The group was paid an average of $1,500 for each show. In 1994, Green Day played Madison Square Garden just a few months after only playing small clubs. At the gig, singer Billy Joe Armstrong wore only socks and a strategically placed guitar. In 2016, George Michael died peacefully at his home. The former Wham singer was 53 years old. I didn't know he died on Christmas Day. In 1977, the Eagles' sixth album, Hotel California, spent the first of 8 non-consecutive weeks on the top of the Billboard album charts. And in 1996, The People versus Larry Flint, co-starring Courtney Love, was released. That's what happened on Christmas Day. All right, now let's go with today. What happened today in music history? In 1987, on this date, The Who announced that the Faces' Kenny Jones would replace late drummer Keith Moon. In 1991, on this date, Greg Allman made his big screen debut as the villainous drug dealer when the film Rush premiered nationwide. The flick featured soundtrack contributions from Eric Clapton. In 2002, the Clash singer Joe Strummer died at the age of 50 of heart failure after walking his dog around his hometown of Bloomfield, England. In 1987, Motley Crue bassist Nikki Sixx was pronounced dead on arrival in an ambulance when his heart stopped beating for 2 minutes following an OD on heroin. he was revived with 2 shots of adrenaline to his chest. If you go see the movie Dirt, it replays that scene. I wonder if there's any truth to that scene, and did the ambulance guy really do that? Because I think like on the second one, he's like, "Oh hell no, Nikki Sixx ain't dying on my watch," or whatever. And he gives him the second shot, and Nikki comes to life. I don't know if that's true, but it's kind of funny. In 2014, Joe Cocker died of lung cancer at the age of 70. And in 1990, Alice in Chains played at Seattle's Moore Theater. Pearl Jam, then still known as Mookie Blaylock, opened for them. At one point during the show, Chris Cornell came on stage and put singer Eddie Vedder on his shoulders. Can you imagine being at that concert in those days? That would be like the ultimate trip to be able to do that, man. That would be really, really cool. Anyway. What else? What else do we have going on? Dolphins, by the way, favored by 1 now. It's been 1.5 all week, down to 1. The over and under is still 50. The Cowboys are still plus 100, and the Dolphins are still minus 120. But half a point has changed on the line right now. Frankie Fresco, thank you for the love in the super chat. He says, Jim Cornette finally getting in WWE Hall of Fame. That's a Sean Stanley question. I have no idea who that is and whether he deserves to get in or not. I have no idea.
Resume, he deserves to get in. Loudmouth, I don't know that he will, but the WWE would be the one because he has worked behind the scenes with them recently, not like within the last 5 years. He's done some things with them. So never say never, but that would be his best shot.
Okay. All right.
Definitely not getting into the AEW Hall of Fame there, Frankie Fresco.
Oh, man. Let's see what we got. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. I'm excited because we're right around the corner here. I should be posting everything this weekend and putting everything together, hopefully. 3A Graphics, of course, we love Alan Blanco and the great people there at 3A Graphics. Your company needs custom printing and embroidery. You're going to see a lot of their work now on our stuff. The Blues last night, well, they gave the Blues to the Panthers 4-1, Bobrovsky with 20 saves. Saturday, they will take on the Las Vegas Knights at 3 o'clock there at Amerant Bank Arena. Tonight, the Miami Heat are back in action. They will host the Hawks. The Hawks are 12-15. The Heat are 16-12. No Jimmy Butler. Saturday, we've got 2 games in the NFL. Bengals are visiting the Steelers. Bengals favored by 3. Over and under is 38. Will George Pickens block? That story's a trip. And then at 8 o'clock at night, 8:03, it's the Bills and the Chargers, and the Bills are favored by 12.5. I would love to think the Chargers could win this game. I just can't. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Oh, I'm sorry. Last night, Rams defeated the Saints 30-22. A lot of mediocre football, man. 8-7, 7-8. That's what you have. There's so much of that 500 stuff, right around 500 in this league. There's so much mediocre football. It's amazing. Brett says, I'm a Grass fan. So is Jennifer Capriati. Let's see. True Fin Fan says, I'll be calling Cutter's Edge when I redo my yard this year. Nobody better. Nobody freaking better, dude. They are awesome. And when Mike gets there, Mike's he's like the guy that sees shit that you don't see. You know, I like this here, that there, this, that, and then he starts designing, and you're like, okay, this looks fantastic. How the did you see all of this? You know, his vision, it's pretty cool. You'll see anybody that, whenever you hire, okay, Cutter's Edge Pro, Will's the best, right? I mean, he runs the tightest ship out there. He does a great job. But his right-hand man, Mike, his partner in crime, he's like the creative genius, right? He's the guy that like designs things, and then your wife is like, "Oh my God, this is awesome!" He's the guy that makes your wife like really happy. You'll see. You'll understand once you bring him into the fold. And you're like, yeah, because you got to get the wife happy always with all this. And Mike's the guy that sees through all of that, because you and I screw it all up. The husbands, we just screw it all up. How about that here? You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the way it is. Then Mike will design stuff, and then the wife will go, "Oh my God, yes, this, that. Oh my God, it looks great." And you're like, okay, we're going to have a good run here. James Gleason, thank you. Big O Show, best in the biz. It's a beautiful thing, baby. Getting a very good feeling about the Dolphins versus Cowboys. Me too, man. Me too. Did Cornette ever run a minor wrestling association, or was he just a wrestling manager? And Sean says he ran OVW when it was WWE Development. And Sean, when are we getting to see the Iron Claw? That's right here. This is the Iron Claw right there. Jose says, Big O, all three losses. Dallas lost to good teams, ran the ball, much pass. Hope McDaniel is not stubborn. I mean, we're all hoping for the same thing, my friend. You know what I mean? None of it. The Dolph fan I don't get is the one that wants to dress up everything negatively going into this. I think there's a lot of positives to what's happening. And it's just a matter of them putting it all together and proving it. And I think they're finally going to do that this weekend. I think the stretch that you guys have been wanting and waiting for a long time, it's finally going to happen. By the way, I don't know why people, just to kind of go off of a little bit of the music and entertainment, I don't know why some of you still do this to yourselves, but try not to do this. Sometimes I give you advice on certain things, and I'll tell you, hey, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like this. But let me tell you something. I'm when it comes to music, I'm a pretty good facilitator of what's going on. And Motley Crue is planning to close out 2023 with a show December 31st at the Acrisure Arena in Thousand Palms, California. Now the show's been canceled due to what Motley Crue is calling a production issue. Now let me explain something to you all out there. Why are any of you wasting your money and your time with Motley Crue? That's a band that should not be trusted at all. They're not trusted to play their own music. The original band is not even together anymore. It's not even close. Vince Neil hasn't been able to sing in over 15 years. Why you would waste your money seeing a band that does not give a shit about putting together a real effort, okay? Kind of like Democrats and Republicans, that they don't care about Americans, no matter how much you think they do, but you go ahead and keep fooling yourself. Same thing, okay? These idiots don't care. It's all money grab for these losers at this point. I'm disgusted with Motley Crue. And I'm just telling you, you're a sucker if you go to a Motley Crue concert. Okay? You're not even getting a real concert. You don't even know if those guys are even playing their instruments anymore. They're certainly not singing. I'm just telling you, stop doing it to yourself. These people don't deserve your money at all. You're better off spending $100 and some that you're going to spend to watch those bums and go buy Cardano or go see a real concert, to be quite honest. That's what you need to do. Dave Chappelle is in town starting on Tuesday, day after Christmas, December 26, 27, and 28 at Hard Rock Live. Friday, December 29, Bob Weir and the Wolf Brothers at the Broward Center. And also on the 29th, next week, if you've never seen Trombone Shorty, He's at the Culture Room on Friday, December 29. I might go actually take the wife to that. But Trombone Shorty, man, that is one hell of a show. Talented dude, man. Bless him. That is a really good show if you get to go see Trombone Shorty next Friday. All right. Couple of music notes for you out there. Pearl Jam just made it big right at the time I was entering college and just getting into music. Nico Jones, wishing you and Sean a very Merry Christmas. Thanks for all you do. Enjoy the weekend and fins up. Nico, thank you for the love on the Super Chat. Thank you for a little Christmas love on the Super Chat. And remember, you can send Christmas love on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. And, of course, you can send a little Bitcoin donation. That's my favorite Christmas present, a little Bitcoin donation. Jeff says John 5 is a beast, though. I love John 5, but I've seen John 5 on his own. You know, I saw him the last time he came to the Culture Room. I love John 5. Super cool cat. All of that. I'm not paying Motley Crue money not to see Motley Crue. Dude, they're charging you a boatload of money. I can see John 5 do his own stuff at the Culture Room for $35. Right up front. I'm standing there and I'm watching John 5 shred at the Culture Room. You know what I'm saying? You know how I tell you a lot of times I don't bet the opening line. I wait for the live app to start, the live betting line, so I can get value. Okay, life is about value. When am I jumping into Bitcoin? When am I jumping into Cardano? When am I jumping into Polkadot? When am I jumping into Alethea, right? Well, when am I jumping into John 5? Am I going to pay $150 in an arena where I'm way away from John 5? Or do I say, fuck that. Why am I going to spend that kind of money on these clowns? Why don't I wait for John 5 to tour on his own and he comes to the Culture Room in a little room like this where I'm there with 400 other people and I'm watching John 5 right in front of me shred for $35. Value. Value comes to me. And that's kind of the way you got to play the game, baby. I don't care if we're talking about John 5. I don't care if we're talking about crypto. Okay. You know, it's about value. I don't care if we're talking about a Hard Rock Live app. Do it for value. When's it better value for me? When am I going to get the most out of it? And that's how I'm going to get the most out of it. When I get to see John 5 on his own. I already saw Motley Crue on their own back in their heyday in the 80s and in the 90s. With Mick Mars, with Nikki Sixx, with Tommy Lee, when actually they had a singer in Vince Neil. Not a guy that talks it now and can't do anything anymore, has zero falsetto left. Yeah, no, can't do it. But John 5, anytime, solo. Anytime, I'm there for John 5, for sure. A really cool cat. Really cool cat. But he's making money, so I don't blame him. That's what he's doing. Marcus Shabbat says, hear me out, Big O. Like Danny says, pick your guy, let it fly. Sunday, we got to find a hole and let it roll. Great hat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. New to the collection. Just added it. GP Trap, happy holidays to you, sir. Jeff says, love the Tesla shirt the other day. Yeah, I love it too, man. I don't have a lot of red concert shirts. I have this one Kiss shirt that I don't wear a lot, that it's red. It's freaking bad. It's one of my favorite shirts, man. I'll be able to wear it again soon because now I'm losing weight. It's an extra large. So I have all these shirts that I have not been able to wear because they're extra large, and I've been wearing double XL. So now I'm in the process. I'm trying to lose the weight. I've lost already weight. I've lost somewhere in the neighborhood of like 8 or 9 pounds. So it's a start. It's nothing, absolutely nothing. I'm just starting. I don't know if I'll be able to maintain the discipline on it, but Hopefully, we'll be able to do it and fight through it. And we'll be displaying some really nice shirts coming up that I have not worn in a while. Comedian Sam Morrill is hilarious. He'll be at Dania Improv on the 25th. Okay, I'll check him out on YouTube. Let's see. Stephen Harris says, Big O, speaking of music and not trying to be funny, but Lil Wayne sounds like the wife from All in the Family. Oh, yeah, Lil Wayne's voice. I can't stand Lil Wayne's voice. Yeah. That's the reason why I don't like his music. His voice is way too wimpy. Yeah, I can't listen to Lil Wayne. I mean, dude, I'm used to LL Cool J and, you know, people with like real voices, you know. It's different, man. When you grow up with Snoop and, you know, you grow up with like real voice, like Chuck D is a voice. That's like the greatest voice in rap in my eyes. You know, but when you grow up with stuff like that, and then you go to Lil Wayne, and it's like, yeah, no, dude. Yeah, you do nothing for me. Yeah. Can't do it. Shannon Sharp has the Cowboys beating the Dolphins. Okay, that's fine. That's all good. Shannon Sharp was probably the guy that didn't have Tua playing like he's playing now either. So I'm not really concerned about any of that stuff. Like I said, if I would sit here and just rebuttal all the crazy or stupid shit that's been said, it'll take me forever. You know? Can you imagine being a Detroit Pistons fan? I want you to think about this now, okay? Because as bad as it gets for the Heat, it's never gotten this bad. Sean, do you know about this, that the Pistons now have lost 25 in a row after last night? Okay, do you know what their record is, Sean? Because this is the amazing part. They're 2-26, my brother. That means that they literally won at the beginning of the season and then have lost 25 after that. Like, they started off pretty well. Because if you're 2-26, you do the math, that means you were 2-1 before this whole thing started. The Detroit Pistons at 2-1 probably thought, oh, dude, we're headed for a heck of a season.
The reason I found out yesterday at the show when we were at the casino, they shown that one of the teams had the screens. I'm sorry, had ESPN on, and it said Pistons have not won since October 22nd.
Yeah,
going on. It's been exactly 2 months since they've won. Oh, October 26th it was, or something.
Like, how do you lose 25 in a row? The expansion Heat didn't lose 25 in a row. They won, I think, on their 17th game, I believe, when Rory Sparrow hit that shot against the LA Clippers. I mean, 25. Do you know how inept you have to be? This is the kind of stuff that our team's been around since 1988. We had expansion years. You've had a down year or two, that year that everybody, supposedly got injured and they were placing everybody on the IR, and you ended up with Beasley, and you still didn't lose 25 in a row. 25 in a row. And then when you look at the record, it's 2-26. These fans were 2-1 at one point. Last night, Jazz, 119-111, they lost. That's just, wow. I mean, it's hard to do this. It's not an easy thing to do something like this. Let's see. 2024 Summer Tour, Def Leppard, Journey, Hard, Steve Miller Band, and Cheap Trick doing stadiums. Yes, but remember the Steve Miller, Cheap Trick, and Hart, I think. No, right? No, Steve Miller and Cheap Trick are alternating. Okay? The one we get Cheap Trick, we don't get Steve Miller. So you got to remember that they're not all together, and some of them won't be on the bill. So be careful when it's coming to your town, which one you're getting, just in case you're looking forward to one of the opening acts. Joe Koyuta says it is definitely the most talented Dolphins roster since early Marino days. Agree with you, Big O. They are primed for greatness. We will know exactly who this team is in the next 3 weeks. That's right. And coach, because the coach has got to get it done. That's right. Ouch. That's right. With the Pistons. This is the same Pistons team that nearly beat the Heat at home. Yeah, but nearly is, close only counts in hand grenades and horseshoes. And remember, in the 25 games they lost, there's probably several of those games that they because they're desperate to win. So I'm sure it's happened a few times. I feel so bad for any remaining Pistons fans. Well, Pistons have the receipt for that, Big O. Is the Pistons coach Bill Belichick as well? Yeah, it could be. All the NBA clapping Pistons for the effort put in the season to be the most mediocre franchise. People did say that they had young talent that could have a pretty good year this year. I used to be a diehard Heat fan. My daughter's a diehard fan. I just can't watch this game anymore. It's a 3-point contest, drive 2 feet, and then the basket and pass it out for a 3. Can't watch, man. Yeah, no, there's a lot of people just like you, True Fin fan. A lot of people like you that don't like this NBA right now. Close also counts in lawn darts. Did not know that. This team is on pace to be worse than the Bobcats that year. Yeah, definitely. And you know what's the worst part? They'll get all the ping pong balls and then they still won't win the number 1 pick. Because that's just so typical. You'll have the worst year and you still won't get the break. You know what I'm saying? Although, should you be rewarded for being this inept? Talent, coaching, everything. That's what I love about Eric Spoelstra. He makes everything better than what it really is. Everything, dude. Doesn't matter what it is. With Eric Spoelstra, it's always better, man. It's ridiculous. Anyway. So Dolphins punter gets engaged. And did you hear about the Baileys there, Sean? You know about the Baileys? No, you don't know about the Baileys, Sean. What is wrong with you? So Miami punter Jake Bailey, you know that at least, right, Sean? You know that it's Jake Bailey, right? Okay. So Jake Bailey got engaged this past week, and many people who saw the news were pondering the same question. His soon-to-be wife, will she take his last name? Because his girlfriend's name is Bailey Medeiros. So she is going to be Bailey Bailey. How about that? Former New England Patriot cheerleader. Now we'll have her name Bailey Bailey because she's marrying a Bailey and her first name is Bailey. And by the way, Jake Bailey was drafted by the Patriots in 2019, was their punter for 4 seasons. Then he connected with Medeiros not long before Medeiros at least considered the possibility that she may one day become a Bailey Bailey. How about that? Let's just hope that neither one bails out on the marriage and they stay strong and true together. Yes, sir.
She should go with B squared.
B squared. I like that. That's a good one on your part, dude. B squared. She's a cutie, by the way. So, Jake Bailey, nice job by you, sir. Let's see. The head coach for the Pistons is Monty Williams, who was coach of the year 2 years ago. Shows a winning NBA coach of the year means nothing. It shows that he is doing his shitty job right now. That's what it shows. I got family that came from Puerto Rico to watch the Heat's big fans, or big game, you mean? Yes, Inter Miami did sign Luis Suarez. And all of that will matter in April when they start playing. But for now, it's a nice signing. There's not much to talk about. I just hope he doesn't bite anybody's ear off from now till game time. That's all. Everybody save your ears. And remember, when you're around Luis Suarez, just look at him and say, ¿Cómo estás, Luis? How you doing, buddy? You know? So when Luis walks into the room, everybody goes, earmuffs, earmuffs, earmuffs. So Old School is the Luis Suarez favorite movie out there. Okay? So I'm just telling you, the second he walks onto the pitch, you're going to hear all throughout the stadium, earmuffs, earmuffs, earmuffs. I'm just trying to give you the information. And for those of you that don't know, Luis Suarez is known for biting people's ears. Okay? He has the Mike Tyson anger and hunger for fighting. Okay? He's going to bite your ear off. So referees here in the MLS, be careful. Be careful who you yellow card now on Inter Miami. Okay? If you want to fucking walk out of here with 2 ears, I'm just saying, you better watch out who you yellow card. Because Luis, he'll take a bite out of crime. Okay? There's McGruff, the crime dog, and then there's Luis Suarez. Okay? The crime footballer. Just saying. Warnings have been, the line in the sand is there. So if you want to argue with Luis, I hope you're holding your ears together. Okay? If you don't want to end up like, that former poet back in Baltimore. Now, he chose to cut his own ear off. Edgar said, yeah, I love her so much, but Luis doesn't love you that much. When he does it, it's not out of love. Okay? I'm just saying. So, earmuffs to all. Now that we're all going to Luis Suarez games, be careful. Okay? You watch A League of Their Own, and Rosie O'Donnell will dive into the stands trying to get a ball, and she'll take a bite out of your hot dog. Luis Suarez, you think he's going for the hot dog, he goes for your ear. Be careful. Be careful. In fact, you never want Luis Suarez to try to tell you a secret. Because he tells you a secret and then he leaves with a piece of your ear. You never want to play telephone with Luis Suarez. Because when he shares the story to the next person, he's got like a piece of ear that you chewing. No, I'm chewing ear. You're supposed to bite the next person's ear. And then he starts something that, sorry. Luis Suarez is a guy you really don't want to hear from. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm just, it's a terrific signing. It's an offensive threat. He'll give you an earful. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. We've got extra weapons now. Okay? We can score and we can bite the shit out of your ear. Inter Miami, baby. Unstoppable. Okay? There we go. We're all set to go. Beware, Suarez asked to lend me your ears. I agree with that. Rio 305, Rio 0305 says que salvaje. Big O Suarez versus Tyson in an ear-biting match. That's a good one. I got to go Tyson because his teeth are like sharp. Have you ever seen Tyson's teeth? They have like these shark-like qualities. So I'm going to go slightly leaning to Tyson on the ear biting there. But either one, I just don't want to be around either guy. You know? Let's see. What else? Earmuffs will be handy for all fans when Suarez takes the field. I agree. I could go for a pan con croqueta right now. Una empanada de carne, una croqueta de jamón y una orejita frita, por favor. His first order. So, are you telling me that when Luis Suarez goes to the youth fair, he's asking for an elephant ear? Is that what it is? And in Luis Suarez's case, you know, I like the cinnamon sugar on it. Some people like the powdered sugar. I don't know why, but he kind of likes cherry sauce on his elephant ear, Luis Suarez. No idea why he kind of likes the red sauce on top of his elephant ear. In fact, you know what? I got to talk to Eddie over at the youth fair, okay? And we'll be broadcasting live from the youth fair again this year. Can't wait. This time we're going to be on the midway. We talked with Eddie this year. But you know what? We should rename the Luis Suarez elephant ears. Right? I mean, that's kind of what we should do. In fact, when they sell the elephant ears, there should be like a piece missing, like, you know, authentic bite from Suarez. So we'll have Suarez bite an original one, and then we can create the ear for it, the mold. And then that's it. And we're set. See, there was so many ways we can celebrate the Luis Suarez signing. You know, will Inter Miami sell earmuffs in their pro shop? Suarez muffs. Think about that. I mean, that's a game changer right there. Nobody's ever sold earmuffs. And what team needs it more than our fan base with Luis Suarez around? So you could actually sell some protection. In fact, I think Inter Miami will have a disclaimer on the back of each ticket. We are not responsible if you leave without a piece of your ear. So be careful now. Okay, those of you purchasing tickets, I need you to look at the small print. They can't control Pac-Man. Should we call him Pac-Man? There's another one. I mean, really, dude. We're on a roll here. I mean, we're going in directions all over the place with Luis Suarez. Should we call him Pac-Man? What do we do when it happens? You know what I'm saying? It's going to happen. Somebody's going to lose a piece of ear. What if he starts a cannibalization inside the stadium and other people feel like biting ears? I'm telling you, we need earmuffs everywhere. The Luis Suarez influence, it's dangerous. Very dangerous. So be careful and read the small print. Read the small print. Moss family's very smart. Okay? They may want to cover themselves on that one. So if they say they're not responsible for your ears, oh shit. Oh shit. It's not good. Not good. All right. Would Rosie dive into the crowd for a DQ hot dog? Probably. She's pretty nasty. Next thing you know, you'll see an earlobe stuck between Suarez's teeth. Oh, for sure. Guaranteed. No doubt about that. Suarez muffs. I'm literally laughing out loud like an idiot. You're on a roll. Thank you. You're giving people ideas to sell on the road in front of them in the stadium. Pac-Man Suarez. They could have lobe nights at Suarez games. Exactly. That's it. In fact, you know what we should sell? Ear seats. Seats that are shaped like ears. And you're just like relaxing. You know, and then your feet are held up on the lobe. You know, because your butt's inside the hole of the ear. And then you're like grooving. So maybe that's what they should do. How about this? How about all speakers in the stadium shaped like ears? I mean, seriously, there are so many things we can do with this. Right? I mean, think about it. We could have Suarez in PKs, okay? Somebody's lining up for a PK, right? And we have Suarez like hanging out just outside the goal, looking at the goalie like, you know, and the goalie's like trying to block a shot, but he's thinking, is he gonna dive at me? And then he's got to use his hands to block, but the goalie doesn't know. Block the ball, block my ears. I don't know what's going on. Block Suarez. I can't stop the ball. Stop Suarez. I'm telling you, we can use this as a weapon in so many ways. So many ways. They're trying to take a corner kick. Have Suarez stand right like 3 feet away from the corner kick. That guy will never put a good corner kick out there. He's going to be like this, trying to corner kick it. The things we can do with Suarez now as a weapon, the intimidating factor of it. I mean, come on, dude. Put him right in front of the guy inbounding. And the guy's looking for somebody, but he's watching a guy that wants to like go for his ears. He won't inbound it the right way. It'll intimidate the shit out of him. Is this son of a bitch going to bite me when I throw the ball? I mean, you know, seriously, the Luis Suarez thing. I mean, we can have a field day with this. Okay? Seriously. There's a lot of potential here. Lot of potential here. With bites taken out of those seats. Exactly. I like it. Disclaimer, your ear can be involved in any situation for your own safety. Cover your extremities. Exactly. That's it. They could play Pac-Man music when Suarez, yes, goes for a lobe attack. Exactly. I like that. I like it. The Suarez effect. Huge. Huge. That is fan-freaking-tastic. All right, what else do we have going on in the world of sports? See, we got some productive Suarez talk. I broke it down better than anybody out there. There is no way that anybody's going to break down Suarez like we just did. The real impact that he's going to have on this team. You know what I'm saying? I love it. By the way, Top Gun, we love talking about Top Gun. We're going to be there next Wednesday, okay? And when we talk about Top Gun, I was leaving the show on Wednesday, and a group of 5 women were walking in to one of the stalls. Okay. And when we talk about, the lanes, they have 18 different lanes. All right. Up to 25 yards, which is the longest distance indoor range in Dade County, folks. They've also got an archery range, too, on top of all of that. The only indoor archery range in Dade County, latest in air quality, so you're not breathing up all that lead and everything else. They do a phenomenal job with that family atmosphere. I tell you guys all the time, look, man, I wish it wasn't like this in this world, but unfortunately it is. And we've got to do what's best to protect ourselves. Okay. You got to protect your ears around Suarez. Well, your family needs to protect themselves. And at Top Gun Indoor Range, they've got self-defense classes for the ladies out there, from basic pistol to concealed weapons. And it's also available in Spanish, folks. They've got tactical nights and competitions, bowling pins, all kinds of stuff. Next week, we're going to be there again, broadcasting on Wednesday. And then we're going to give you a date in the latter part of January for a competition. We're going to have prizes and all of that. So bring your guns. Let's have some fun. Let's compete. And who knows what prizes you're going to win. They're going to have some prizes. I'm going to bring some sports prizes. So we'll have some fun. And remember, they have memberships there at Top Gun. The better memberships, the higher the discounts, from gun cleaning, even up to unlimited shooting, dude. How about that, man? So gun sales, everything, great selection for the wives, from Glock, 6 Hour, Smith & Wesson. They've got it all. Go check them out. 12015 Southwest 114th Place, literally right off the highway on 120th. It's right behind the shop, that little strip shopping center you see there. And tell them that Big O sent you, Steve, and all the great people out there will take care of you at Top Gun Indoor Range. Okay? Let's see. Yes, sir.
I mean, nothing major here, but the Florida Panthers are practicing in their new facility in Fort Lauderdale. It's the first time I've seen that, so I'm guessing it's close to being at least
War Memorial, right? The new place.
Yeah. Doug Plagan just took a picture from inside it, and
that's so cool, man. So proud of Viola and Steve, man. So proud of them. And I talked about this the other day. I know you made a piece on it. The Marlins, there's your example, Marlins. Stop talking shit. Stop talking a lot of hot air. Stop making all kinds of crazy changes. Commit yourself to winning. It's the only way you'll ever build a fan base and any trust. The Panthers, the Heat did it the hard way years ago, right? They screwed up at the beginning. They had the wrong owners, and they didn't have the commitment. And then when Mickey took over, the real commitment started, and they went and got Riley. And from that moment on, they made us a basketball town because they were committed to winning, committed to getting the best teams together, committed to going as far as they can, committed to trying to win a title until they won it, and now won several. And the Panthers have done the exact same thing. They're committed to winning. They pay their players. They have a terrific core. They keep building on it. They're working their way to trying to get to a Stanley Cup and win it all. They got to the finals already. So they're on, and then look at the stadium now. Now it's full most nights. They sold the entire bottom bowl out. Now they're working on selling, most of the top bowl, and it's mostly sold on most nights now. And that's because they've crossed the threshold of trust. That's the key. And the Marlins fail to ever earn any trust because they are failures when it comes to actually committing to this community. And this community has proven over and over again, you don't have to win the title, but dude, you have to care about trying to win, and you have to prove it. Dolphins haven't won shit forever, but they still get good support. They get great support. They've gotten better support in the last 25 years than they deserve. And the Marlins just don't do it. They only whine, bitch, complain, point fingers, and never commit. And that's until you commit and shut the hell up and don't complain about anything. And then you're going to fill that stadium up. But if you don't have any commitment, man, it's over. Jets go back to Simeon with Wilson in protocol. So there you go. That's your 59th. All right. Yamamoto joins the Dodgers on a $325 million deal. And how about this? Former Tampa Bay Buccaneer and Syracuse star wide receiver Mike Williams died the result of a rare bacterial sepsis after suffering injuries in a work-related construction accident October 21st in Hillsborough County. Williams was removed from life support and died at 8:20 a.m. local time on September 12th. He was 36. The cause of rule was a bacterial sepsis with cerebral abscess and necrotizing lobar pneumonia due to multiple dental caries and retained dental roots, according to the medical examiner's office. Jesus Christ. The condition, although rare, is linked to poor dental health, decay, and infection. What a shame, dude. 36 years old. Way too young. Way too young. What a shame. What else do we have going on? I don't think there's any other breaking news or anything like that.
No breaking news, but Mike McDaniel, I guess, said that Robert Hunt is out for this Sunday. No setbacks on Tyreek, and Achane had a toe, but doesn't look like it's going to be hold him out.
And I think nothing on Austin.
I didn't see anything on Austin, but I think it's probably a no-go, I believe. I think Lamb's been working all week over there, or at least everything I've seen, but there was nothing on him. I didn't see it.
I think he's going to sneak in there and play, bro. But we'll see. We'll see. Big old Merry Christmas. Finns are going to run the table. Let's go, Paul in Connecticut. Amen. Suarez is going to be a player of the year. That's right. That's right. What time is pregame Sunday? Jesse, what time does the game start? Come on, Jesse. Let's you and I have this conversation. What time does the game start, Jesse? You tell me. Okay? Let's see if Jesse is listening, watching, and can answer. Come on, Jesse. What time does the game start? Tell me. Okay? And how long do we do a pregame show for? So what does the math tell you automatically every week, no matter the time of the start? What does that tell you? There's Stephen Harris. Jesse at 11 a.m. No. No, Stephen, you're wrong.
Are we not the only ones that didn't know what time the game started?
Yeah. So I still haven't gotten anything from Jesse. I don't see any answer from Jesse at all. None. I don't see it. He hasn't been able to tell me what time the game starts. That's the funny part. Anyway, whatever the game starts, we're always on 2 hours before. Okay? If it starts at 1, we're on at 11. If it starts at 6:25, we're on at 4:25. If it starts at 4:25, we're on at 2:25. If it starts at 8 o'clock, we're on at 6 o'clock. If it starts at 9:10, we're on at 7:10. If it starts at, 9 a.m. was that game? Was it 9 a.m.? We're on at 7 a.m. Okay, whatever the kickoff is, the start of the pregame is always 2 hours before whatever the kickoff is. If it tells you it's a 1:05 start, then at 11:05 we will start. Always 2 hours before whatever the start time is backtrack 2 hours. Okay? And that's how we always rock. Every single time. Okay? Anyway, we thank Cameron Wolf and Manny Navarro. Of course, we thank the man, the myth, the legend that is Sean Stanley. Always appreciate him putting it all together, this entire platform. Thanks to all out there, those of you that send in a super chat. And if you made a Cash App or Venmo donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show, that is Cash Big O Show. Thank you all out there as always. If you make a Bitcoin donation for Christmas, we love that too. We will see you on Sunday. We'll be off on Monday. Okay, so Sunday will be kind of our talk show because Monday we are off, and then we'll be back on Tuesday doing our thing. All right, you all out there. So we'll see you Sunday at 2:25. Get you ready for the Dolphins kicking some Cowboy ass. Don't forget, if you're around Luis Suarez, earmuffs. Sunday, same time, same place. Boom. Let's do it. Same bat channel.